Hello and welcome to another episode of CryptoTime. My name's James Coughlan and I'm joined today with my usual co-host, Antonio Shillingford. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing really fine. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. As always, a couple of interesting subjects. Specifically, I know you want to go into something around Coinbase.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of kind of fluffing around going on, and I think it'd be quite nice to get a little bit more insight into that. And I'm going to be covering a fantastic little project that's been built on BSV called Streamanity. So without further ado, we will kick straight into this episode. Please always do your own due diligence before getting involved in any new investment, and please do not accept this as investment advice. These are just the opinions of myself and also Antonio. So yeah, who do you want to start with? Do you want me to go? Do you want to go? How do you want to work this?
I might as well kick it off.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Let's hear what they've been up to.
So my news is all on Coinbase. So there's been a few topics that have arisen as of recently. Of course, some of them confirmed, some of them not confirmed. So just to jump straight into it. Do you remember when Coinbase were listing all of these coins in anticipation? So every single time a coin gets listed, the price of that token tends to just skyrocket.
Yeah, just to give a little clarification behind that, people get super excited because Coinbase were one of the people that made it very easy for you to go from fiat straight into different cryptocurrencies. As they launched a new one on board, the anticipation built around it, and you start to see a little bit of hype, I would say is a fair point.
So, of course, because of that and ease of use, they had a lot of people's holdings. So anytime that a new token got listed on Coinbase, it would just skyrocket in value. Now, we saw this with BCH, of course, when the project itself launched. Then, of course, a lot of development work happened. Then Coinbase then decided that it wanted to, of course, launch BCH. Now, we can very much remember during that period because at that time we were holders of BCH when, of course, Coinbase launched it. Now, when they did, we saw the price of BCH skyrocket and then trading got suspended. So a lot of people now have been pretty much trying to initiate lawsuits on Coinbase and trying to get answers and end of the day redemption for money that they would have potentially made or lost during that period and that time. And I remember because we actually had the conversation along with Stephen as well, because the way that the value shot up, it looked suspicious. Extremely dodgy.
And there were just people ringing alarm bells saying manipulation. They were doing it on purpose. And really, it was just kind of a scramble for people to try and really work out what was going on with it. Was it legitimate? Was it just an actual mistake? Was it negligence in terms of how they onboarded it? To really find out more was interesting.
Yeah. So, of course, off the back of that, they got hit with a load of lawsuits. Now, the U.S. District Judge in San Francisco, he actually threw out more claims, more suits than what he actually passed through. But he was very much on the buyer's side. So if you was a seller at that particular time trying to take advantage of the price spike, and of course you just didn't get that window and they didn't action your trade, then all of those lawsuits are pretty much thrown out. With the buyers, and when they were actually trying to purchase these coins and could have potentially got given a much higher price than, of course, what they wanted, those are the people where their lawsuits are going through. So what they're quite simply now saying is that it was just mismanagement, complete mismanagement. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops and how that plays out. Now, not just that, we've actually seen now Barclays come out, and this is... it hasn't been confirmed yet, but of course, this can have huge ramifications on Coinbase as a company, and the whole ease of use is what we was talking about prior. Yeah.
Sure.
So word has come out that Barclays are going to be completely removing themselves from Coinbase. Now, what Barclays allow Coinbase to do is faster payments, meaning that if I wanted to send my GBP into Coinbase, it's pretty much same day. If I wanted to withdraw, again, pretty much same day. Now, if they destroy that partnership, payment transactions take a lot longer, which end of the day affects clients' experience. If it's affecting clients' experience in a negative way, clients tend to start to decline.
And I think something that is very kind of real to the whole Coinbase model as well is there isn't a human contact really for you to go and ask what's going on. Yeah. So it was all very well when you assumed that payments were going to be more or less instant, say 2 to 3 hours, the payments would go through normal faster payment reference service. And then you find out actually It might not be. It may be, say, 3 to 5 working days it goes in. Now, 3 to 5 working days is all very well if you're being told and everything's kept clear to you. But if you couldn't then actually speak to that company and say to them, look, I've sent you quite a sizable amount of money. I just want to check, if it's been received. If it hasn't, what's going on? You're kind of left just in no man's land until you see it hit your account. Yeah. And I think that's a little bit concerning from my point of view.
And I completely agree, because at the end of the day, people get used to doing a certain thing, a certain experience. If they're on your platform, they're just used to a certain experience. If that experience then gets worse, it becomes extremely, extremely annoying, as opposed to if they had that worse experience to start off with.
Yeah.
So you just need to be improving all the time.
No, I completely agree. Are you happy to wrap up on your subject now? We can get into a little bit of Streamanity, my friend.
I'm all good. You can kick off.
Right. Okay. So as you guys know, we're on YouTube right now. We are massive advocates of obviously the social media space, how we can push our content out there. Because one thing we've made very clear here at Bitstocks is we want to ensure that people are educated within this sector. It's not just about the operations that we have here. We want to educate the greater masses as to what cryptocurrencies are all about and the way that we see them in our opinion. And I think it's very interesting to see how we go about trying to push that narrative out there. Now, it's been very real to us on many occasions when we, for example, try to do certain things around YouTube, like, for example, sponsorship around videos or anything like that.
Yeah.
What we tend to find is we get a no coming back from it. Yeah. Oh, you're not supposed to push cryptocurrencies. Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
And not just to cut you off there, but the funny one was Facebook.
Yep.
That's the funniest one out of every single one of them.
Yep.
Because of course, we're very much aware that Facebook cut sponsorships. As soon as they were getting close to announcing Libra, they reactivated it. Now you can, of course, start sponsoring stuff to do with cryptocurrency on Facebook. So it's just a funny scenario.
I completely agree. And I think these are the things that are funny to kind of see how they've been playing out. What, for example, these big titans of the social media world are actually doing to kind of stake their claim and defend it, which leads us nicely, as I said, into Streamanity. So Streamanity is all about publishing content and getting paid for it. And what they're really trying to achieve and what they're trying to strip out of their actual model is this whole kind of clickbait problem that we have, say, on YouTube. You'll be looking for something that you want to find out about. When you're looking for that information, it will say on the title, yes, it covers exactly what you've put in the search bar. However, what you find is you're 15 minutes in and there is just one little splatter of what you wanted to hear about, right? So what they've done to eradicate that issue is ensuring that people, one, have to pay for it. So first question you're kind of asking yourself is, if I'm going to hand over $2, am I going to receive information which is going to be worth more than $2 to me as a person, right? If that is the case, then I'm willing to click on that. If it's not the case, then I'm willing to obviously push away. So it's one of these interesting things where we finally have a bit more say in what we're looking at. Now, I completely, accept the fact that there is going to be a case where there'll be things that I click on that I didn't want to, but they've solved that issue as well, because you can start to downvote people that are in a situation where they're putting out clickbait content. They're not covering the subject properly. I don't particularly want to see them at the top of my feed anymore, so I'm going to push them down. And let's be honest, if it's a general consensus of people in the crypto world, I'm sure it'll be along the same sort of lines. If it is something that people aren't liking, it's going to get a similar kind of run through from other individuals as well. Therefore, that individual's content will not be pushed to the levels that it should be. So I think that's an interesting point as well. So the other things that I wanted to cover around this was a little bit on how you actually earn your money through it and what their kind of model is.
Just before we jump into like how you generate money from it, social media platforms like that are going to be huge in the future. The reasons why is because on a lot of the social media platforms that are out there at the moment, so you got your Facebook, you got your Twitter, you have
Instagram, all those ones.
Instagram, YouTube, all of them. Everyone, and it's becoming a very popular thing about censorship. So them basically downvoting people, using their algorithms to push certain things down and push certain things up to the surface. And it's even something that President Trump has been talking about, is about censorship on these huge, huge tech companies, being the ones that I just mentioned. So when you have platforms like this that are actually truly for the people, and you know that the information that is there forever and it can't be manipulated, it can't be altered, then That is exactly how it should be. And that's exactly how the future of these social media platforms are going to start to lay out.
I think another point, even just to add on to that, a little bolt-on part to it, is when we're talking about these companies as well, we're talking about them like they're separate entities. We know that pretty much one company owns these companies as well. And what we found is it's not just, I'm clicking on Facebook and that's what's happening, and I don't like Facebook, so I'm not going to use them as a company. If I decide to use, for example, Instagram instead, well, hey ho, I ended up in a very similar situation again. And I think these are the things that people are waking up to.
And then your information gets bounced around.
Exactly. In the same little circle.
Yep.
What I wanted to talk about was estimated earnings in relation to how Streamanity is going to work, how you can actually earn from it. So this is a statement that directly comes from their website. Your fans pay a small amount for watching your video. The revenue will depend on the number of views you make. The more views you get, the higher amount you can charge per view. The more revenue you will gain eventually. You can charge from as little as 5 cents a video and as high as you want. Fans can also subscribe to your channel, helping you earn a monthly recurring revenue. So here's a little bit of a breakdown, as I said, that comes off the Streamanity website in terms of what you can actually expect to earn. So if you have a number of views that is 1,000, your average price for video is around $2. Your revenue is expected to be around $1,600 because there's 20% of your fees that go back to Streamanity. So they're a company, they're going to earn money. I don't like it when people start saying, at the end of the day, I think they're charging too much. I think they're doing this. I think they do that. They're a new company. They're putting a lot of development work into something. I'm sure that fees will start to come down in relation to that over time if it works within their model. So I think that's something to kind of watch and see, but it's definitely not a deterrent for us. Something I'm keen to do is get this channel also on Streamanity soon, so people can obviously start viewing our content in the same way.
Yeah. And the most important thing is they're transparent. Transparent.
Exactly. And I think also what's a very, very keen thing to see is when, for example, let's talk finance, right? And say there's somebody who's out there and they want to make a prediction about, say, the next financial crash, right? If they make a prediction about the financial crash, that could be deleted in the real world as we stand at the moment. So you could write an article and for some reason that can just get taken away and nobody knows it was actually there in the first place, or they might know, but they can't really prove it in that many ways. This time we have an immutable ledger. Got a blockchain, we're going to stamp it on it and it's going to be there for the longevity. And I think this is something that's really cool because you can't make 3 predictions about the financial crash and then say, oh, it was prediction 2 that I was the only one that I made, and all that kind of rubbish that you get.
Through this year, we're going to go through recession. On another social media post, we're not going to go through a recession.
This is going to be the biggest boom the world has ever seen. Yeah.
Biggest crash.
Yeah, exactly. So I think on that note, I think it's a really nice spot to wrap up. Massive advocates of Streamanity. I think it's a really cool project. So thumbs up to you guys if you're watching also. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your time as always. If you are liking the content that we're putting out there, obviously you're watching on YouTube now, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know the latest and greatest coming from us. Not only that, but you can find us on Spotify. You can also find us on iTunes, and we've got a great little section on our website for blog content. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Peace and love.